In this video, I'm going to show you how to use your domain with Gmail to send and receive email from another account within Gmail. So this is Cpanel. Most hosting companies do use Cpanel, so that's what I'm going to show you how to use. There are some hosting companies that don't use Cpanel. Two examples are GoDaddy and 1&1. In those cases, you'll have to just log into your hosting account and find where they allow you to set up email. But the process is very similar, even if the look of the tool is a little bit different. So we're going to log into Cpanel. Then we just need to scroll down here to email. And we're just going to click on email accounts. Then I want to set this up for business training. For your email address, I actually recommend that you use your name. So my name is Lisa, just Lisa at your name. In this case, I'm not going to do that because I already have that one set up. This time I'm just going to use Gmail since I'm showing you how to do this. But I really recommend that you use your name at your domain. Whatever you do, don't use info at as a default email address for your domain. Back in the 1990s, info at became the most common default email address. As a result of that, spammers learned that they could just put in info at domain name and it was a valid email address. So if you use info at, you'll get a lot of spam. And it also makes you look like you're a person of a certain age. So don't use info at, just use your name. I'm just going to use Gmail because this is my example that I'm showing you and it doesn't exist yet. So now it's time to pick a password. And you have to pick passwords all the time and you're going to be tempted to make something easy to remember. But you never have to log into this account because we're going to set it up in Gmail. So I want you to use the password generator button and generate a password. You can click it a few times to find one that looks kind of interesting. Let's go with that one. Click the I have copied this password to a safe place, and you do want to copy it, but we don't need to paste it anywhere. We're just going to copy it, and then we're just going to use that password. So it's a very strong password. For mailbox quota, you can pick the 250 megabytes or assign a megabyte limit if you want to. I always just choose unlimited because then you don't get errors that you're about to hit your quota. So then you click create account. Account created. Once it's created, we can just scroll down here. So here's our new email address. We can change the password. You can change the quota, set up email client, or delete. Now, in some cPanels, you'll find information on how to set up your email client under the More dropdown. This one, we can just click here, set up email client. And for a lot of tools you use to check your email, there's already auto configuration scripts that makes it super easy for you to set them up. Now, Gmail is not one of them. So we're going to scroll down here under manual settings, and these are the settings you're going to use to set up your account in Gmail. So next step is to go over to Gmail, and in Gmail we don't want the inbox, which it defaults to. We want the settings. That's over here, this little gear icon, and then settings. Then we want accounts and import. Now we need to do two steps in order to import the email into this account and to send as. And they're listed in order of send as and then check email. I've always found that the check email from other accounts step is easier to do, so I'm going to start with that one because it kind of gets you the hang of what you're doing before you do something that's a little bit more complicated. So we're going to add in our email address we created. Then we click next step. Our username, if we go back here to our cPanel, our username is Gmail at For Business Training. So we want to make sure that we fill that in exactly as it says in your information from your hosting company. Sometimes it's just the first part, sometimes it's the whole username, sometimes it's something different. And then for a password, we use that password that we set up when we set it up. So that's what we pasted. We just paste that in there. Then we need the POP server and the port number. The incoming server is what we're working on. That's the email that's sent to you. So our server is forbusinesstraining.com, and then the POP 3 port is 995. So we just want forbusinesstraining.com. Port, there's a drop down here, 995. Then we have a couple of options. Leave a copy of retrieved messages on the server. We're going to choose that one if you want to check your email from multiple places. So I have, for example, with my email, I have it going to Outlook on my desktop, and I have it going to Gmail so I can check my email on my phone on the go. So in that case, I want to leave them on the emails on the server so that both applications can check it. But if you're only checking it at Gmail, you don't need to do that. Now we also want to use the secure connection when retrieving email. You can label the incoming messages for your email address if you wish, and you can do this archive incoming messages and skip the inbox. I've never done that, but this labeling it is sometimes fun, but I almost always do this: leave a copy and use a secure connection. So then we're going to add that count. So we tried the settings that they gave us in our hosting account and they didn't work. There's a show error message here, and it says a server returned error, SSL error, certificate hostname mismatch. So valid host names are sandy.canvasstreams.com. So in that case, we're going to change this to what it tells us and the port that it told us, and it should work this time. Your email account is now added. You can now retrieve email from this account. Would you like to also be able to send mail? Yes. So we're going to do the next step. So I'm just going to leave this at Lisa Testing. And then here's our email address, right? Treat as an alias. Now, I think you don't need to ever do that except under some specific circumstances, and you can click the learn more for more information about that. But when you have it as an alias, it does some weird things with the emails you send, and they end up in your inbox when they shouldn't. And yeah, just don't need to do that. Click next step. Now we need to fill in our server information again, and here's another place for that password. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there. Type in my username. Now we need to come back over here. So for outgoing, for business training, SMTP port 465. So we want 465 SMTP for business training, secured connection, SSL. We're going to add account. Congratulations, we have successfully located your server and verified your credentials. Just one more step. There's an email confirmation code which was sent to that. So if we go back to Gmail and the inbox, so that if we did our setup correctly, the email confirmation from Gmail will show up in our inbox in Gmail. So then it's super easy. We just click that, and then we have to click this confirmation, and we're going to confirm. We're all ready to go, and we can both send and receive email in our Gmail account to our new email address that's associated with our domain. So there's just one more thing I want to show you. So if we're sending email, you can send from your Gmail account, right? Or you can send from your other email account that you just set up. So my Gmail for business training, simply by choosing from the drop down. Now if there's one of these email addresses that you want to always send from, then you can do that. We're going to come back to our settings, back to the same accounts and import. Now we can change this one, right? The Gmail for business training email address, and make it the default one instead of the Gmail account by simply changing it. So this one is the default. The other cool thing you can do is when replying to a message, we want to reply from the same address the message was sent to. So that makes it super easy. If somebody sends you a message, so for example this one, I can just click the reply button and it will automatically be sent as a reply with the same email address it was sent to. Makes it really easy to manage multiple email accounts. And you can actually have 5 accounts You can have 5 accounts that you can send mail from and you can import from. So it makes it really easy to import a bunch of different email addresses into one Google account and manage it all from there. The other thing you can do for your business is, if you come back to your Cpanel account, you can create forwarders. So you have one email account, like I would have Lisa at For Business Training, and then you can have a number of different forwarders that all just go to that email account. For example, support at, or sales at, or something like that, easing at. And then as you add people to your organization, you can turn those into regular email accounts, and then they can manage it going forward instead of it all going to just one bucket that you manage on your own. It's hard to then separate out which ones are support and which ones are this and which ones are that. So you can have just one email account. And some hosting plans only allow you to have one, so just have one, and then set up a bunch of forwarders that they kind of parcel out the content to make it easier to manage going forward. So that is how easy it is to set up your email for your domain.